Hi, I'm Lindsay and welcome to Intuition Yoga. Today's practice is going to be a shoulder stretch and strengthen with some neck release incorporated into it as well. I carry a lot of tension in my shoulders, and this is a really good practice to do to just kind of release that and also to strengthen and stretch your shoulders as well. For today's practice, you'll need 2 blocks. Don't worry if you don't have blocks, you can always use kind of large books, tend to work well as well. So just working it out, whatever worked good for you today. So we'll start off in a comfortable seated position, so whatever that is for you, and just allow your eyes to softly close, if that feels comfortable. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Maybe crawl the left fingertips out to the side, if that helps you get a deeper stretch. And it might also feel good to use your right hand to kind of gently draw your left ear away from your left shoulder. Just working out which option feels best for you today, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Beginning to connect with the breath, inhales and exhales through the nose, and keeping the inhales and the exhales equal length. Changing the stretch slightly to look underneath your right shoulder. Just stretching along the back of the neck this time. Letting go of anything that's already happened today. Just being in the present moment. Use the right hand to softly cradle your head back up to centre. Switching sides. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Crawl the right fingertips out to the side if that feels good. And you can also use the left arm, left hand to draw the right ear away from the shoulder, only if it feels good. We'll maintain this breathing throughout our practice today. Inhales and exhales through the nose, inhales and exhales equally. Now looking underneath the left shoulder. Use the left hand to bring the head back up to centre. From here you can slowly blink your eyes open. Drop the right ear to the left shoulder. Now we're going to do some circles, half circles with our head to warm up the neck. So on the exhale, roll the head down, pausing halfway, chin into chest. Inhale, lifting back up to the other side. So your left ear is now dropped towards your left shoulder. Exhale, roll it down, chin into chest. Inhale, back up to the right side. Keep these movements really slow. Inhale, back up to the left side. Inhale, bring your head back to centre. From here, coming onto a kneeling position and grab a hold of your block. So whatever feels good for you here. Might feel good to sit like kind of on your toes, kind of like a toe squat. Might also not feel good, so if that doesn't feel good, don't worry, just keep your feet released. I just kind of like a toe squat. So grab a hold of your block and squeeze your block together with your hands. So you want to keep your hands at shoulder height. Keep the elbows straightened, but don't lock them, so like you might need to keep a wee bit of a bend, which is okay, but generally our elbows are not bending to the sides, we're keeping them kind of straight. Shoulders relaxed, and keep your spine neutral and your ribs knitting together, so we're not popping our chest forward here. Squeeze the block together between the palms, and then we're going to do some shoulder protractions and retractions. So as you inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, just a really small movement, only move the shoulders, the elbows are not bending. Exhale, push away from you, keep it squeezing the block. And you'll squeeze the shoulders back. and exhale, draw them forward. Inhale behind, exhale, draw forward. One more, and exhale, forward. Set your block down to the side, come to tabletop position, so bring your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Spread the fingertips wide, make sure you can see the mat in between them. Press into the fingertips and knuckles. Inhale, come to cat pose, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, open your chest towards the front of the mat. Exhale, push the ground away from you, press the tops of the feet into the floor. Round through your whole back, chin into chest. Inhale, cat pose, squeeze the wrists and knees together, abs engaged. Exhale, push the ground away from you, chin into chest, lengthen your tailbone towards the knees. One more cat pose, inhale, gazing slightly forward, not craning through the neck. Really broaden your chest towards the front of the mat. Exhale, push the ground away from you. Rounding through every bit of the spine, like a Halloween cat. Exhale, back to neutral tabletop position. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, step the right foot forward, feet hip width distance apart. Bring your hips, hands onto your hips. Inhale, come up into low lunge. So make sure your hips are pointing towards the front of the mat here, hips are level. Inhale, right arm reaches up, bend into that right elbow, and you can use the left arm to draw that elbow back. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, sink deep into your front leg, making sure that your right knee doesn't go beyond the ankle. Exhale, plant the palms down towards the mat, back into tabletop position. From here, we'll reconnect to those movements that we did with the block. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, chest dips slightly. Exhale, push the ground away from you. And again, we're keeping our elbows straight here, so this is just coming from the shoulders, so it's tiny movements. Strengthening the shoulders. Inhale, push, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, push the ground away from you. Inhale, squeeze together. Exhale, push the ground away. From here, keep your hips over the shoulders, hips over the knees. Walk your hands forward and melt your heart down into puppy pose. Keep your abs drawing in, protecting the low back. Just finding a nice stretch through the shoulders, opening through the front of the chest. Inhale, walk the hands back in, back into your tabletop position. From here, finding cat and cow once more, but it might feel good this time to do it kind of side to side, so you might want to inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, curl your tailbone up, look over the right shoulder. Exhale, cat pose, draw your chin into your chest, round through the back. Inhale, looking over the left shoulder. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Come back to neutral tabletop position. Inhale to find length in the spine. Exhale, step the left foot through now, feet hip width distance apart. Hands onto the hips. Inhale, come up, low lunge. Inhale, lift the left arm up, bend into that left elbow. You can use the right hand to draw your elbow back in space. Inhale, find length. Exhale, sink deeper. Keeping the hips square, keeping the core engaged. Tailbone lengthens down. Exhale, palms frame the front foot, step back to tabletop position. Fingertips spread wide, core engaged. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you drop your chest slightly, finding that small movement again, working the serratus muscle. Exhale, push the ground away from you, draw your shoulder blades apart. Inhale, squeeze it together. Exhale. exhale, apart. Make really small movements. Try to keep this as slow as you can. Notice how much more you feel it. From here, walk your palms forward, keep your hips over your knees, core engaged as you sink down into your puppy pose. Maybe your forehead comes towards the mat, maybe you rest it on a block, whatever works for you today. Walk the palms back into tabletop position. Inhale, find length for the spine. Exhale, step the right foot forward in between the palms. This time curling the back toes under and lifting your back knee off the mat. If this doesn't feel good today, you can keep the knee down and come back into low lunge. But if you want to go deeper, you can lift the left knee off the mat, bring your hands onto your hips and inhale as you come up to your high lunge. So hips pointing forward again, keep your hips level. It might feel good to keep a bend into that left knee just to make sure your hips are square. Just doing whatever feels good for you here. Inhale, right arm reaches up, bend into your right elbow, and you can use your left arm again to draw this elbow back in space. This might feel good to stay here, or you might want to go a wee bit deeper, and this time you can reach your left arm round to catch a hold of your right fingertips. So I'll just move to show you, see what this looks like. You might not be able to reach fully, in which case you can use a strap, or you can also use a bell or a scarf, or there's also the option just to stay here. So just whatever works best for you today. Inhale, find length. Exhale, sink deeper. On the next exhale, step the left foot up to meet the right. And from Tadasana, mountain pose, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. You can clasp your hands behind your back and bring your clasped hands over towards the right hip. Just finding a neck release here. Other side, left ear to left shoulder, clasped hands come round towards your left hip. And here come back up to centre. From here, step your left foot back to the back of the mat. Make sure your left foot's parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. Right toes point forward and your right heel is in line with the arch of your left foot. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, bend into your front knee, coming into warrior two. Arms reach out. So squeeze your front knee open, make sure you can see your right big toe. Tailbone lengthens in between the legs, just kind of to the mat. Squeeze through the outer edge of your left foot. Inhale, straighten the front leg and bring your right arm in front of your, kind of over your left. Hug your arms in, and from here you can kind of massage into your ribs here. Just anything that feels nice. Exhale, open the arms, bend into your front knee again. Inhale, left arm on top this time. Chin into chest. Exhale, open the arms, bend into the front leg. Inhale, right arm on top again. And then this time, bring your right toes in so that you're slightly hen-toed here, so your toes are pointing in and your squeeze kind of push through the outer edge of both feet. And then release your arms, clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, fold forward. So you can bend your knees slightly here, just whatever works best for you. And try to lift your clasped hands off of your tailbone. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, draw them away from the ears. Press through the outer edge of both feet as you fold. Release your hands to the mat or onto your blocks. Inhale. Find length in the spine and exhale, fold a wee bit deeper. Might feel good to nod your head here. Release your neck. Bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale, come up halfway, pause in here. And then come all the way up to stand. Back up to Tadasana at the top of the mat here. Inhale, reach your arms down, round to the sides and up. Maybe looking up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find a flat back, hands come to shins or thighs. Exhale, plant the palms, step the right foot back, forward by the left, coming into a plank pose. Knees can be down on the mat here, or you can come to traditional plank, whatever works best for you. From plank, finding those push-ups once more, those tiny push-ups just with the shoulders. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, push the ground away, making sure your core is still engaged here. Push shoulder blades together. Exhale, push the ground away. Inhale, squeeze together. Exhale, push the ground away. Curl the toes under here. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So your knees can be bent. Feel as if your arms are in two dials. Right hand's turning anti-clockwise, left hand is turning clockwise, and your biceps are spinning up towards the sky here, really engaging through your upper body. Not staying here forever, just a few breaths. Exhale, bring your knees down to the mat. You can either keep your knees together or widen them, whatever feels best for you. Walk the palms forward, come into child's pose. Bring your hands together, elbows as wide as the mat, making a diamond shape with the upper body. Relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, walk the hands back in, come to tabletop position. And then exhale, step the left foot in between the palms, feet hip width distance apart, maybe curling the back toes under, lift your right knee off the mat, hands onto hips, come up to high lunge. This doesn't work today, you can always stay in low lunge. Inhale, left arm up, bend into the left arm. Use your right arm to draw that elbow back in space. And again, if you want to go deeper, option to come into full arch your arms, catching hold of the fingertips or a strap, whatever works for you today. Listening to your body, follow your own intuition. Step up to the top of the mat, come to Tadasana pose. Release the arms. This time, drop your right ear to your right shoulder, and we'll find those neck rolls that we did at the beginning of the class. So exhale, roll the head down. Pause halfway, chin into chest. Inhale, back up to the other side. Exhale, roll down. Pause halfway. And inhale. Right ear comes to right shoulder. Bring your head back up to centre. From here, step your right leg back to the back of the mat. Make sure your front heel, so your left heel is in line with the arch of your right foot. Lengthen through the spine, sink into that front knee, warrior two. Make sure your shoulders are on top of your hips. Press through the outer edge of your left foot here, your right foot. Inhale, straighten through the front leg, bring your right arm on top this time, chin into chest, give yourself a big hug. Exhale, open through the arms, sink back into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the leg, left arm on top. Exhale, bend into the knee, warrior two. Last one, bend the leg, right arm on top. Massaging through the ribs, anything that feels good here. And now spin your toes in, slightly hen-toed. Press through the outer edge of both feet, inhale, find length in the spine. You can clasp your hands behind your back again if this feels good. Exhale, fold forward. Keeping a bend in the elbows, not locking through them. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Walking your weight slightly forward. Totally fine to keep a bend in the knees. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together. Plant the palms either to the mat or onto some blocks. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, fold a wee bit deeper. Bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale, come up, pause halfway. Back of the neck long. Crown of the head reaches away from the tailbone. And then come all the way back up. Stand at the top of the mat. Come to Tadasana pose. Inhale, arms reach down and rounding up. Maybe looking up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the palms. Step the left foot back. Followed by the right again. Either full plank pose or drop the knees, whatever feels best for you today. Tabletop's also an option too, whatever feels good. And from here, draw your core up, bring your hands towards your toes, really energetically engage everything through the body. And as you inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together as your chest lowers slightly. Exhale, push the ground away as your shoulder blades draw apart. Inhale, squeeze together. Exhale, draw them apart. Last one. Keep everything engaged. Inhale, squeeze together. Exhale, draw apart. From here, rock back into downward facing dog. Maybe adjusting your stance slightly. Spread through the fingertips, push into the thumb and index finger. Hips reach high to the sky. Making any movements that feel good here in your downward dog. Maybe paddling through your feet. Anything that feels good. Keep the core engaged. Drop the knees to the mat. Finding child's pose once more. Whatever variation of child's pose works for you today. And just reconnecting with our breath. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Inhales and exhales equal length. Really breathe into the shoulders. Breathe into the back body. Inhale, walk the palms back in. Come back up to seated. From here, finding a kneeling position once more. Again, you can be in a toe squat or just a kind of regular kneel position, whatever works best for you. And we're going to bring our arms out in front of us, kind of bent at a 90-degree angle. And from here, reach your right arm underneath the left. And you can either push your heels of the backs of your hands together, or you can bend a second time and bring the palms together, whatever feels good for you. Bring your elbows up at shoulder height, draw your shoulders down, and again you can tuck your chin into your chest, just doing whatever feels good here to get a nice stretch. Release the arms, open the arms out to the side, expanding through the chest. Second side, arms out in front of us. So this time bringing the left arm underneath the right, and again you can press the backs of the hands together, or you can bring round a second bind and push the palms together. It's totally fine for both sides not to feel the same. And also, if this doesn't work today, you can always just reconnect to this movement that we were doing in our warrior two, whatever feels good for you. Elbows up, shoulders down. Maybe bringing your chin into your chest. Release the arms, and this time clasp your hands behind you again, putting the other thumb on top, so the one that isn't normally on top. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, open through the chest. And release. From here, grab a hold of your two blocks and set them up behind you, so in a T position. So the first block will go parallel to the short edge of your mat, and the other one will go parallel to the long edge of the mat just behind you. And what we're going to do is you can either have your legs long, or option to bring the soles of the feet together if you want a hip stretch as well, just whatever works for you. And from here, you're going to walk yourself back with your hands so that the first block comes in between your shoulder blades, just at the upper back here, and your second block comes underneath the head. So just taking a moment to make sure you're fully supported. Arms can come down by your sides, or it might feel good to raise them up overhead, just whatever works for you today. I'm going to keep mine down beside me. Supta Baddha Konasana. One of my all-time favourite poses. Press your hands into the mat. Dip your chin into your chest. Lift your head up, release that block, and then walk your hands in to allow yourself to come fully up. Take your time, move nice and slowly. Set your blocks off to the side. And from here, lower all the way back down onto your back. Hug your knees in towards your chest and rock a little bit side to side, just doing anything that feels good. Bring your feet back down onto the mat. Bring your arms out into a T shape or a cactus shape, whatever works for you. Lift your hips over towards the right hand side of your mat. Maybe cross the right leg on top of the left, maybe not, just whatever works best for you. And then bring your legs down over towards the left hand side. Upper body stays on the mat. Just twist them through the whole body. torso. Just sink deeper into the twist. And heel, bring your legs back up to centre. Uncross the legs. Bring your hips back into neutral. And this time shift your hips over towards the left, maybe a few inches towards the left. You can cross your left knee on top of the right, or just keep your legs together. And then drop both knees over towards the right hand side. Sometimes it can feel good to allow your knees to fall down onto a blanket or to some blocks. Just making sure your body is well supported here. Inhale, bring your knees back up to centre, hips back to neutral. And again, you might want to draw your knees in towards the chest. Just doing anything here that feels good. And then draw your right leg long along the mat, followed by the left. Press your elbows into the mat to fold your shoulder blades underneath you. Come into Shavasana, rest and pose. And I encourage you to take Shavasana here. Sometimes this is a pose that people often skip, but it's actually the most important pose that we do in yoga, helping to integrate all the hard work you've done today. So just allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm as you rest here. Allowing the feet to drop side to side, palms face up. Inhale, raise your arms up overhead. Get a nice big stretch right along the body. Exhale, draw the right knee into the chest, followed by the left. Rolling over to whatever side feels most comfortable. And then slowly press your palm into the ground. Come back up to a seating position, nice and slowly. Come into sit. And just noticing any shifts that have occurred during your practice. Drawing your hands together to the centre of your heart. Thanking yourself for taking the time to practice yoga today. And holding this gratitude in your heart as we take a cleansing breath together. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Moving forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice with me today. I would love to hear how you got on. Please comment below this video. If you do like my video, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel and please share it with anyone else who you think might appreciate it. Thank you again. Namaste.